Hi everybody, it's Marty. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a discussion about people outing you as a transgender person or trying to find out information about you without you knowing about it. This happened with my husband last week with a friend of his, this woman that he used to work with. And so anyways, I'll tell you the story about it. If you're new to this channel and you're looking for some resources on the transgendered experience, I'll put up a card here that shows a video of mine that I talk about my transgender experience from a teenager to an adult, now 56 years old. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so by touching my little face down there and clicking on the little notification bell, and that will tell you when I upload another video. And remember, the mission statement for this channel is to deepen the message of the transgender, transsexual, whatever you want to call it, experience into the narrative of the mainstream and our community with love, understanding, and sane dialogue. Okay, so here we go. When people out you about your transgendered experience. I didn't know I was going to do this video. It's been on my brain. This happened last week. As most of you know, I'm married, and we've been together for about 3 years, married for 2, coming up on 2, and I'm very open. He's very cool about me being online, and actually he's even more cooler than I am, because I go, do you think I should post this? And he goes, who cares? Do whatever you want. So I just absolutely love him. My husband is retired. He has been for about 2 years, and he was working as a nurse in a long-term care facility, and there's a person that he works with there that he helps with the labor union, and I won't mention names, but I'd met her a couple times since we've been married, and she did start to follow me on social media, and she did ask me a couple questions about, you know, why do you post stuff about transgender stuff and everything? And I'm going, well, because that's my experience. And then she started asking, you know, all those questions that you want to just say, you know, check out Google and then get back to me. It's like, if I'm not sleeping with you, why do I have to tell you about all this stuff? Like, and I'm talking like really personal stuff. And I told her, you know, I have a YouTube channel, I talk about it. So if you don't want to take the time to watch my YouTube channel, it's like you just want, it's almost like they want you to feel shame and talk about it. And it's just, I'm not going to do it. So anyways, fast forward 6 months later to last week, and my husband says, I'm going to go out with so-and-so. She needs some help with union stuff, because my husband was part of the labor union in Canada. He worked with Jack Layton in the NDP government and stuff like that. And so I thought she was going to come over to the house, and I went, oh, that's great, see her, it'd be nice to see her. So I had this weird feeling about it, and sure as shit, that morning she texted him. She goes, do you want to meet like at a restaurant type of thing? And and he said, sure, whatever. And then he told me that, and I said, she's going to ask you stuff about me. And he was going, oh no, it's like, it's just about that. It's just about labor stuff, you know. Well, you know, he came home and he said, yes, you were right, she did. And I asked him what he told her. He really got personal about my stuff. I know, she kept pumping him for information about me, and one of the things about me, my transgender experience, is that there is intersex qualities with me. That's why I've never had to I've always been soft and everything, and so hormonally, chromosomally, let's just say there's like some anomalies. I don't want to get into it. I was born in 1962. That's the year that they stopped prescribing thalidomide because of all the weird stuff that was going on. So there was always, my doctors were always saying like, oh, well, maybe that's part of the reason what happened. So I had mentioned that stuff to my husband, but I never thought that he would tell her that. And because she was asking about my bits and stuff too. I talk openly about the surgeries I've had, but you know, I don't talk about what things look like, or you know, or it's like, or you know, what my mother was doing, and it was just really icky. So I got really upset, and really upset with him, and really upset with her. Like, I just blocked her on all my social media, and I just thought that was so sneaky and backhanded. And I said, what would you think, to my husband? I said, what would you think if I went out with a guy friend and he was asking me about you, about, you know, what size your dick was, or if you were circumcised or not, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's just things you don't ask. And it's so weird. I'm 56 years old. It's like, this is getting so old. I just can't believe it. I can't believe in this day and age that people would sideways. I shouldn't be surprised, because it doesn't really happen too often. But it's like, news flash for anybody that lives on Vancouver Island who is like watching my videos, because I do post this on Facebook, that when I post videos, it's like, I'm a woman of a transgender, transsexual experience. I was brought up as a boy, a very effeminate boy that everybody thought was a girl. So I was completely terrorized as a child in Alberta, cowboy country, and you know, frickin' ran away and decided to like live on the streets and get abused, rather than frickin' like be abused at home, and you know, being called out by my German grandfather, saying that I'd be thrown in the ovens as if, you know, back in the old days and stuff, and you know, just horrible stuff. It's like, you know, I left and went over the Rocky Mountains and moved to Vancouver, and you know, and it was safer to hang out with street kids in the late 70s on Davie Street, and you know, and and then I got into recovery at 28, and I frickin' changed my life around, and I worked really hard, and I had to keep my mouth shut then, even in recovery. It's like, God, then I was in a common law relationship in recovery, and I remember being in the bathroom and at a meeting, and I could hear my common law husband talking to a couple guys, and they were saying, you know, is Mardi, did she used to be a guy? You know, that, it's such a gross thing. That's the last thing you fucking say to people, you know, especially, I was like frickin' 29 then, and it's like, and you know, and I was a frickin' goddess and a model, just like Tracy Lissette says, you know, I was gorgeous, and they were just frickin' jealous. It's like, and it's because they knew me from the scene and stuff, and heard stuff, and you know what my common law guy said? He said, and I thought it was really cool back then, he says, why don't you go ask her? And at the time I thought that was really cool for somebody to say that. And that's what my husband said. He says, you know, should I refer them to you? And I'm at a point in my life that I go, no, tell them it's none of their fucking business. Or if they actually are curious for some reason, you know, because somebody in their family is experiencing it, or maybe they are, then sure, I'll talk to them. But she's just a gossip, you know, and I went on her Facebook page, and she, to look at some of her stuff before I blocked her, and it's like, and it was like, you know, these Hallmark moment poems, but hers was about, yeah, I always get in trouble for my big mouth, you know, stuff like that. So she's obviously a troublemaker. So it's like, I was just like, no, you know, to my husband, I'm going, if somebody, you know, have my back. Like, frickin' say something, you know? If, you know, I live on an island and I'm realizing that there's like some really sick people here. You know, it's still pretty, it's really backward. Like Vancouver, huge Vancouver is just like 22 miles across the ocean there, right? I can see it. And you'd never get this shit there. You know what I mean? Well, you get all the other crazy shit because like then there's like, you know, all the weirdos that are looking for unicorns but don't want to like commit and all that stuff has to evolve. It's just crazy. But yeah, over here it's like people are just like, oh really, oh my god. It's like I'm in the program in the AA, and I was at this it was a meeting. I can talk about it because it wasn't a meeting then, it was after, and somebody was mentioning something about transgender stuff, and they were wrong about it. So I told them, and they all looked at me like, huh? And I went, well, I'm a woman of a teen transgender transsexual experience. And they were just like, oh, you know? And it was like, it's cool. It's like I just told them. So, but they didn't sit there and ask me about, oh, so it's like, you know, all the stuff you hear. It's like you don't ask about pre-op, post-op, whatever type of thing, you know? Again, I talk about it in my videos. I talk about being non-op, pre-op, post-op, downstairs, you know, and I identify as a heterosexual woman. So if you're watching this, you know who you are. That was really unbelievably rude to do that. And you're really lucky that I have cultivated a Buddhist practice, because in the old days I really would have ripped you a new one, because to take my husband out and then to talk to him like that and get information out of him, and he's the sweetest, most kind guy, and he's so open about anything, whatever. He's not embarrassed to be with me or anything. I'm more freaking worried about it or hurt about it, and it's because of my past. Like I've been hurt a lot since I was a kid. Like Christ, I had to, you know, I worked as in the sex industry until I was 28, when I came into recovery. And I'm 56 now, 8 and 8. So yeah, half of my life ago. So, and there's a lot of repercussions that went with that. You know, 20 years later, I ended up having to leave my career because of PTSD, because of A, B, C, and D shit in my life that I had to deal with ever since I was a kid, you know? So I'm lucky that I can actually tie my shoelaces, you know? So anyways, that's my little rant. So people, if you're friends, if you're truly an ally of transgender people, if you're gay, if you're one of my gay friends, if you're one of my straight friends, it's like, don't be talking about shit that you don't know and stuff, or, you know, pulling friends that you think know stuff or whatever. Come to the source if you really want to talk about it. I'm so sick of even gay people, like, you know, parading around going, oh yeah, it's like we support our trans sisters. You do not. You're just starting to. It's like, you guys have been horrible to us. It's like, you know, and it's in my videos, you know, it's like there's trans women that were harassed at pride parades by gay people. And I talk about that, pointing out, going, it's like, oh, there's one. You know, you're the reason why straight people were clued in when I was a kid, and I couldn't get a frickin' job when I wanted to. When I didn't want to do that stuff, you know. But gay people in clubs and stuff, they were just so out of it, and they could go to work and do their thing and hide, you know, and whatever. But they, you know, it's like, oh, that's a tranny type of thing, and you know, straight people back then didn't have a fucking clue, and you know, there's a lot of dead people because of this shit. You know, a lot of dead friends of mine, and just really wake the F up, you know. So like that, I had to get that off my chest. So anyways, let me know if your experiences. I'm sure a lot of people that subscribe to my channel, watch my channel, stuff has happened to you too. And put your comments down below. Let me know what's happened with you, or how you handled it, or whatnot. And let's keep pushing this forward, because through sharing our stories and stuff, we're able to heal and move forward. So I love you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Give my video a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye. Have a great week.